The Mind.Shift podcasts are brought to you by the Quantum Living Corporation and are based on the emotional alchemy principles of Dr. Craig Farney, whose goal is to rewrite the human operating system, one thought at a time.
Welcome to Mind Shift with the Emotional Alchemist, where transformation begins from the inside out. I'm Dr. Craig Farney, and I help people like you every day uncover the beliefs that run their lives, which then allows me to help them rewire their subconscious thinking and help them finally to begin to feel at peace within their own skin. Welcome to another episode of Mind Shift with the Emotional Alchemist. I'm Dr. Craig Farney, your host, and today I have another guest. This is Julia Powell. Julia is our success coach for my BNI group. Julia also has a website called WichitaLessons.com. Okay. In which she connects teachers with students, basically. Mm-hmm. So one of the things that I like to do in my podcast is just basically kind of take what I know about the person and go, okay, tell me about the mindset of this aspect. So you are a teacher.
Yes.
Correct?
100%.
So give me your story.
Ooh, short version or long version?
You know.
Medium version?
Exactly.
Well, I was one of those kids that when I played school, I was the teacher.
Okay.
So it's always been ingrained in me. It's been a part of my life since I can remember.
Okay.
And I actually was a music teacher, and I am a music teacher. And that was because I grew up with a music household.
Gotcha.
My grandmother and grandfather were the pianist and organist for our local church.
Right.
In little old Eureka, Kansas.
Big
and
town.
My father was more like a rock and roll type, like keys,
right,
versus piano.
Right.
So I grew up with both of those.
Okay.
And I started piano at 5 and harp at 12. And it was something that I actually came into teaching accidentally.
Okay.
I was working for a music school, and they needed somebody, one of their teachers was absent.
Right.
And it was a last minute type thing. So I went ahead and I told them, hey, I've been playing since I was 5.
Right.
I could probably teach a piano lesson.
Right.
And I taught 3 that day, and all 3 of them said, hey, can we switch to her? And at that point, they said, I think you need to teach and not help us in the office. You need to do that instead. So that was my start of my teaching journey.
Okay.
I have a master's degree in business education.
Okay.
And I taught in the public schools for about 8 years.
Okay.
Here in Wichita.
Okay. What school were you at?
I was at Northwest mostly. So I was at Wilbur and Northwest.
Okay.
And I had a lot of great experiences there. Mm-hmm. But for a lot of different reasons, I ended up leaving that. Mm-hmm. The biggest one was daycare costs versus income. Mm-hmm. I actually got to the point where we were about to have our 3rd kid, and daycare was going to exceed my income by $200 a month.
Right.
And I knew that wasn't going to work anymore.
Right.
So I had been teaching piano basically since I was 18, other than about maybe 6 months. Okay. So it had been a long time thing I had done. Right. And at that point, my husband and I just decided, okay, I'm going to start working on that. Mm-hmm. I did that. And I got to about 40 students, and I decided it was time to expand. Okay. So I opened up an academy, Accent Music Academy. Okay. And at one point I had 12 teachers that worked for me, and we had 198 students.
Wow.
And it was so stressful. I mean, we went through COVID and everything. Mm-hmm. And I was like, it was a lot of stress, and I was just kind of burying it.
Right.
And one day during a lesson with a student that I loved, that I had for 5 years, I started just feeling all these symptoms that I truly thought I was having a stroke. Mm-hmm. And I had to stop the lesson and go into the doctor's office and deal with that.
Right.
And at that point I said, well, what do I do? God, what do I do? This is what I do. Right. And I made the decision with that and some other factors to go ahead and stop having the big studio.
Right.
And I came back to just me teaching and having students. But I had this issue where all these people kept calling me and wanting other things.
Right.
Because they were used to that. So I went ahead and used the website WichitaLessons.com and made it as a hub.
Okay.
So that if you're local to the Wichita area, you can find somebody local to teach whatever it is you want to learn.
Okay.
So that's how I got into teaching.
Right.
And into the website idea.
Gotcha. So WichitaLessons.com, how wide range is that?
Well, I have some that go all the way, like I have some listings for Derby.
Okay.
And I have some, I'm trying to think the furthest, the other side. I know I have a Goddard.
Right. What by wide range, I mean, subject wise?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a great question too. This has been one of the funnest parts of it because it started as mostly music teachers.
Right.
Because that's where it started.
Right.
And now I've got things like I've got someone who teaches how to roller skate. I just got a basketball teacher.
Gotcha.
And I've got lots of tutors.
Right.
But I also have like a gal that does, and she helps you if your baby isn't sleeping.
Okay.
So she helps you train yourself and your baby to be able to sleep better.
Okay.
And to me, it's just amazing to get to be a part of all these different people that can help other people through education. Kind of like what you do.
Exactly. Well, it's interesting because I was thinking about this podcast and I'm like, you start to see people from the lens of you're a connector. Mm-hmm. And that's probably something that's been a part of you for a long time.
Absolutely.
So I want to come back to that. But I want to go back to the teaching aspect. What was your favorite aspect of teaching?
Oh my goodness, that's so easy. It's that light bulb moment. Mm-hmm. That's where my logo comes from.
Right.
My logo is a light bulb with a heart in the middle.
Okay.
And that's because there is nothing for me that is better than when I'm sitting with someone and they're having a hard time and they're struggling through something. And then I'm able to help them make a breakthrough. Mm-hmm. And that light bulb comes on.
Right.
Where they figure it out.
Right.
There's nothing more amazing to me than that. Whether it's one of my students or one of my own kids.
Right.
It's just so cool.
Right.
It's so life affirming. And that's to me, that's what it's all about.
Right. Well, and you have how many kids?
Personally, I have 4 kids. Yes. Okay. My own children.
Yeah. And then you have other kids. Right?
Yes.
Okay. What's the biggest challenge as a teacher?
Well, part of it is all the differentiation.
Okay.
Which I love that.
Okay.
I have students who are autistic. I have students who are, I have one who has Down syndrome.
Okay.
Who is so much fun to teach.
Right.
I love it. But it's a challenge. Right. It's definitely a challenge. So all the different ways that kids learn and all the different needs that they need. Mm-hmm. Every kid is different.
Headphones.
Yeah.
I can tighten up if you need to.
Oh, okay. I think they're okay. I think I just had them too far back. But that's it for me. The hardest thing is being able to pay attention to which kid needs what.
Right.
When I'm teaching.
Gotcha. So music, what's your favorite instrument?
Okay, so I play the piano and the harp, so I should say one of those two.
No.
But I'm going to say the oboe.
Okay.
I absolutely love the oboe.
Okay.
It's
what do you
so
love
beautiful.
about it?
It's just, to me, when I hear it, it's got such a soothing sound if it's played well.
Yeah. That is a key, right? Pun intended there with that word.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's one of those that if you don't get it right, it can be very grating.
Yes, it can.
Okay.
I fell in love with it when I heard Rhapsody in Blue for the first time.
Okay.
Which is my favorite song. My kids get a kick out of it, my actual kids, because they'll say, Mom, what's your favorite song? I'll be like, Rhapsody in Blue by George Gershwin.
Right.
And they're like, no, like that we know. Like, well, you should know that one.
Right.
But they have a beautiful oboe entrance in one version of it. That is why I fell in love with that.
Right.
So that would be my favorite instrument.
I find it interesting because in what I do, with energy and frequency, that music is one of the easiest connecting points to energy. And I even heard, I was listening to a podcast, the guy was talking about how you don't have to do anything with music. You just experience it, whereas a lot of times in life, we're always driving towards this end point, and music's not really about that. it's not necessarily about getting to an end. It's about the experience along the way. And so I think that is really apt. In your Wichita lessons, what's your favorite subject there? Is it still music?
Still probably music.
Okay.
Yeah. And there's so many different choices.
Yeah.
You know, everybody has a different kind of instrument that really calls to them.
Right.
My main instrument, harp, that's my performance instrument, that actually called to me when I was a child.
Okay.
So everybody has that kind of calling thing that really just calls to them.
Explain that a little bit more. I like that. Describe it a little bit more, because I think it's really apropos to what we're talking about as well. What when you say calling, what did you experience?
You're going to love this one.
Mm-hmm.
So I told you I grew up with a musical family.
Right.
And my grandfather was an organist. And when I was a child, my grandparents were like the epitome of good to me. Whether or not they really were.
Right.
To me as a child, they were the epitome of perfect.
Okay.
And I always wanted their approval on everything.
Okay.
And one day I was sitting down with my grandfather, and he was watching TV, and he was watching the Marx Brothers.
Okay.
And
you're aging yourself a little bit there.
Well, that's okay. I am.
That's all right.
But it was my grandfather, you know.
I understand.
So he was watching the Marx Brothers,
right.
And Harpo Marx came on.
Right.
And he didn't play the harp as you would assume it would be played.
Right.
Yes, there's glussanos. Yes, there's arpeggios. There's all the prettiness.
Right.
But he did it differently. And it was almost like a shock to the system, listening to how he could take an instrument that people think of as angelic and whatnot, and turn it into something completely different. And that was kind of a spark for me, because I was watching that, enthralled in that. And I looked up and saw my grandfather and his face and how he saw it. And that stuck with me my entire life. I can't tell you how old I was.
Right.
But I was a child, and that impressed on me so deeply that you could take something that's traditionally this way,
right,
and turn it around and touch people in a different way.
Right.
So that's why I fell in love with it. That's why I wanted to do it.
Right.
That was the start of all of it.
Right. What's your favorite thing to play on the harp?
Jazz. I only have like one or two jazz songs because they're so difficult for me to learn, and they're hard on the harp.
Yeah.
For most people. But jazz is so much fun.
In what way? So help me understand that.
Sure.
What is the difficulty on the harp to play jazz?
It has to do with what are called half steps and whole steps.
Okay.
I don't know if you know a lot about that.
Nope, that's why I'm asking.
Music is in a certain key, and most keys will have certain tonalities.
Right.
But in jazz, you have a lot of what are called half step tonalities. Right. And the harp doesn't necessarily easily create those tonalities.
Gotcha.
If you're on a stringed instrument, you just move a little bit. If you're on like a piano, it's black and white keys.
Right.
So you can move a lot easier. Gotcha. If you're even a woodwind or any kind of blown instrument, again, you just kind of move a little bit. Right. But on the harp, you actually have to either change what are called levers or change pedals.
Okay.
And trying to do that on super close tones it's just difficult.
Right. A lot of stress on the instrument itself, then you're saying?
Well, not necessarily.
It
has to do with switching, because like one string can have 3 different tones.
Okay.
But trying to switch from one tone to the next on the string without creating a buzz, which is not something that sounds good.
Right.
It's really tough to do that.
So where would that be analogous to life?
Oh.
You like that question,
right?
Oh,
I do. I'm not sure how to answer it. I kind of think of people. It makes me think of people.
Okay.
Because there are some people that are just easy to be in your life.
Right.
All the time.
Right.
And then there are some people that you really have to work hard at. And maybe you shouldn't even bother, because they're not worth the trouble,
Right.
but most people, man, that's just a good one.
That'll sit on you for a while, right?
It will. It definitely will sit on me for a while. That's tough.
So, okay. So I like to ask questions, obviously.
I love it.
Um,
I do too.
I want to kind of tie this whole story in because what I find fascinating is the story our life tells. We're all telling a story. And some of the sense it's still the same story, or just using a little bit different flavor, a little different tonality, or a little different keys or instrument to tell the same story. So you saw this experience with your grandfather.
Mhm.
Where else have you seen that in your life? Where did you get to implement that?
Well, every time I've been on stage,
Mhm.
I when I was little, I don't know which adult in my life used to say it, but they used to say that I sang before I spoke.
Okay.
I'm not an amazing singer.
Right.
I'm good.
Right.
I'm not bad by
Right.
any means, but I'm not Taylor Swift, or whoever you want to fill in the blank, somebody
Right.
that would make money doing it. But I used to love to sing, and I used to love to get in front of people. Like that was, I love to sing for church.
Yeah.
If I could get up there and sing for church, I love that. But when I would get up there with the harp, it was different.
Mhm.
Like I actually was at a BNI meeting yesterday,
Mhm.
had to think, and there was a visitor there. And afterwards, she came up to me and she asked me, "Did you go to El Dorado High?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I did." And then she said, "Was your name Francis? Julia Francis?" I was like, "Yes, it is, or was." And she said that she was in orchestra with me.
Okay.
She was a couple years below me,
Right.
but that she was in orchestra with me, and that she was just talking to her daughter that morning about me. And I thought, that was 96, I graduated.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a hot minute ago.
Mhm.
I don't even want to think that was over 30 years ago now.
Mhm.
But, or almost 30. Yeah, it's 2025.
Mhm. You're almost there.
Almost there. Oh, don't need to speed it up anymore. But that's one of those things that it's just so cool to have something that people attach to you.
Mhm.
So whether it's playing in front of somebody or being a part of an orchestra with them,
Mhm.
to know that you were that memorable,
Right.
whether it was just because you were in there with
Mhm.
them or because it was something they had never seen. I do love that, Dr. Craig. I love when somebody's like, "I've never seen a harp in real life. Like I've seen it on TV,
Right.
but I've never seen one." And I love to encourage them to touch it.
Right.
Because it's one of those things that a lot of people are afraid to.
Mhm.
I might hold on to it,
Right.
while they do,
Right.
but I love to let people strum it
Mhm.
and touch it and feel it and make it real.
Okay.
Because it's something that for so many people, it's not real.
Do you think that fear to touch it is almost that angelic aspect to it?
It might be.
That, touching the divine type of concept?
I like that. I've always kind of thought it was just because it's expensive.
Fair
And they're
enough.
worried about hurting it.
Sure.
But, I've never been on the other side.
Right.
I mean, I have played harps that were much more expensive than mine is.
Right.
That I was still delicate with it, but it was
Right.
because I knew how much it cost.
Right.
But it's a great question. From the other side, I've never thought of it.
Mm-hmm. I always find it interesting to do my best to step into somebody else's shoes and go, wonder what they're thinking, wonder what they're feeling, wonder
Yeah.
how they're experiencing things. So you love music, obviously. What is the song you are singing or playing?
Mm. Oh my goodness. Well, I've been playing a lot of Disney stuff lately.
Right.
And that's fun because my kids really
Right.
like those things. Um,
Take it metaphorically. What's the song you sing as a person?
hmm. Sadly, there's not a lot, like when I'm just moving about in the day, there's not a lot of music in my head.
Okay.
I think it's because I have so much music all the time.
Okay.
And a lot of the music that I deal with day in and day out is training music.
Right.
So it's stuff that teaches kids how to do this or how to do that. So the song that is in my head most of the time, if there's a song in my head, is Rhapsody in Blue by George Gershwin.
Okay.
I don't know what it was that made that. No, I do. That's not true. I remember playing that in the Wichita Youth Symphony when I was in high school. And it was, I played a lot of pieces on stage. But that one, for some reason, being in the pit of it, there's something so much different about being in the pit versus being in the audience. The way things come together, the time and energy that you put with all these other musicians, the way that feels when it comes together, and the different things you hear from this side versus that side. There's something about that. And that piece has always called to me just because it was one that was so much fun. It was so much fun to play. It was a lot of work.
Yeah.
Everything for me takes work. Nothing is easy for me. I did. Music wise, it's been my whole life,
right,
but it's never been easy.
Right.
It's always been difficult.
Okay.
So I had to put in a lot of work for that. And to get to be around others and be a part of that with others, it's just, there's really no feeling like creating something that beautiful.
What is that feeling?
It's a peace.
Okay.
Like sometimes, like right now, I feel like it's a sadness.
Yeah.
Like I'm seriously trying to.
I know you are. I can see it in your face.
Because there's so many good things.
Right. But it's a almost a sadness of joy. Right?
Yes. Yes.
Not a sadness of sorrow.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
More of a joy.
Yeah. It's a moving thing.
Yeah.
And I would also think there's an aspect of harmony.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Pun intended.
Yeah. Pun intended. But also, I think that's sometimes what we even struggle with as humans is to be in harmony. And I think it's because I look at it from a health perspective. When you are in disharmony with yourself, that's disease.
Yeah.
When you're in harmony with yourself and when you're in harmony with others, that's well-being, that's health. And so I think, and again, like I said, music is such a powerful experience. I mean, it's one of the most powerful things, especially from an emotional perspective, you can experience is music. And I think because it's in some essence, it's also, we are vibratory beings.
Yeah.
We are energy beings. And that's what music is it is vibration in harmony, which I go to a very deep place from the perspective of, I think the biggest problem with our world right now is we are all in disharmony.
Absolutely.
And that's not what we were created for. We are not created to be in disharmony. And that creates a stress and a tension. No different than if you heard an orchestra that's out of harmony with each other. It's very painful to the ears.
Yeah.
I think the same thing is it's very painful to the soul.
Absolutely.
So tell me about your BNI experience. We'll switch gears a little bit.
Sure. Oh, I love BNI.
I know you do.
Obviously, I've been in for about 6 years now.
Okay.
And I originally joined actually because I was wanting to expand my studio. So that was when I went from 40 students. I was at that 40 student mark, and I knew I couldn't physically add any more without destroying my family. You know, it would have been a hot mess.
Right.
And I would have been absolutely exhausted.
Right.
So I knew that was a time when I needed to pump things up to expand more.
Okay.
And I saw BNI and I saw the potential for it. And at first, before I was expanding out, I couldn't justify the money for it.
Right.
Because I knew where my limit was 40 students where I was. And if I couldn't add more money from them, then it didn't do any good for me. But as I was expanding out, I knew that it would be a great asset. And it absolutely was. It took quite a while for me to get referrals from it because it's a trusted type thing, kind of like what you do.
Right.
Being a doctor, a different kind of doctor, a better doctor, I might say. It takes people really trusting you to, you're not just going to leave your doctor. Most people aren't. And people aren't going to leave their music teacher unless they have a reason to.
Right.
And hopefully they don't have a reason to.
Right.
So anybody who already had a kid in music lessons wasn't going to move them. In fact, I told them not to. Right. I said, if you are happy with your teacher, don't move to me just because I'm in BNI.
Right.
Keep your kid where they're happy.
Right.
So it took a while to actually get referrals from them. But about 3 months in, Robert Murphy, who was our area director, had come to that meeting, the group, and had talked about being an ambassador or a chapter success coach, which it was called something different at that time, but about being an ambassador. And he was saying that it gives you the opportunity to go to another meeting once a month or so and help them grow. And to me, that was another no-brainer because I love to help people. That's what I'm all about, is helping people and helping them learn. So I took on that opportunity quickly, and I did all the training to become an actual success coach. And now I've got 2 chapters that I help. And I love it. Your group is amazing. Both of my groups are really good. Your group has really embraced me, and I feel like another member of the team instead of just a success coach. People really reach out to me in your group, and I love that.
Yeah, we have a good group of people.
Really do.
What's the most important thing you find to teach a group of people when it comes to being a success coach? What's the biggest thing you hope to teach?
Probably the importance of connection.
Okay.
Because the more we connect, the better we are. I mean, we learn about each other. We learn about what ticks or what makes us tick. We learn about
and some ticks.
Yes, and maybe some ticks if you get really close, right?
That's right.
But that connection is so important. And that's part of education too, is connecting with the person that you're teaching. So that would be it to me, is just really focusing on that connection. Money's going to come.
It's interesting. I had a one-to-one with another member, and then I also listened to this podcast, and something that was said between those 2 conversations struck me, that I think so many of us feel alone. And that's really what we are looking for, is that sense of connection. Because, more often than not, either you're trying to expand or you're not where you want to be in business. And so you're looking for somebody outside you to help. And that can be a very lonely process. That could be am I the only one that's dealing with this? Does anybody else understand? I think that's one of the things that makes it difficult, because in order for us to get to that place, it takes an aspect of vulnerability. And not very many of us really want to put out the true story.
That's very, very true. Very true. And BNI is great for that, for that small business owner who is just like, if I didn't have BNI, it would just be me in my own little world. I'd go to networking events, but I wouldn't necessarily connect with that many people. Because most networking events don't have that aspect of connection that BNI does. So for me, I strongly suggest it for anybody who's a solo entrepreneur or that has a small office. Like you interact with like 6 people every day, the same 6 people. So it's nice. I'm sure you appreciate that once a week you get to go out and connect with other people that still have your business in mind and still want your success, truly want your success, but aren't in the thick of it right there. And that you're not having to deal with sometimes every day.
I think it's interesting. I think somebody said this, and I've said it too, is it's kind of like church for the business world.
Yes, I heard that too. Oh, was it at your meeting?
It might have been.
I bet it was, because it's great.
It is. Because that's, I think that's one of the things that our group has done really well is that aspect of connection. It's that people genuinely care about you, that they care about your well-being. So it's kind of been an interesting journey. What other tidbits do you have to share as a teacher? If you could reach out to whoever happens to be listening to this, what would you want to share with them that as a teaching mindset?
Don't give up, of course.
Okay.
But also don't be afraid to pause. Like I told one of my students this morning that we work and we get right up to that breaking point. And it's like you're standing on a ledge and you're about to fall over and you're having such a hard time not falling over, but you're right up to that and knowing when to stop so that you don't fall over,
right? But
when to keep going, to continue to push yourself to grow. So I guess know when, don't stop, but know when to pause.
I think that's such an interesting, especially from a music concept, that there's something really important about the pause. I also find it really important, when you speak, how many times you hear a speaker go, because they are uncomfortable with that pause. And I'm learning to be more and more comfortable with that it's okay to pause. It's okay to just be in a moment and not have to fill it with everything.
It is really hard to not fill space. And it's fun that you say that. And I think about, I have to teach kids. I have to. That is not true. I love teaching kids.
Right.
I get to every day. I get to teach kids.
Right.
But one thing that I have to teach them is about rests. There's notes and there's rests in music. Notes you play, rests you don't.
Right.
Those rests are just as important as the ones that make sound. And they can completely change a piece. If you've ever been to an orchestra, a concert, and there's been a pause in the music and people start to, and then they keep going, and you're like, oh, that really affected people. They were ready to clap.
Right.
But they had to stop.
Right.
Sometimes we have to stop.
That holds true to life. I find that in health, that's the hardest thing too, is we tend to go. You take even the concept of having a day of rest. Most people are not comfortable with that. And you look at our modern society, how many distraction tools we have, how many activity tools we have. It's a constant overload. And that's something I'm learning to do personally is go. I have a set of disciplines I tend to do in the morning, and I'm lately just going, it's okay to not have to do that every morning. It's okay to have a morning where it's like, no, that's not the best avenue. Today, the best avenue is a rest. Today, the best avenue is a pause, to use that term. And so I find it really interesting how I think we've been brought up in this society. It's all about what we can accomplish. And I'm finding it's really more about who you are.
Yeah.
And I think who you are is in those pauses, and who you are is in those rest moments.
In those moments of silence.
Silence is really, really important. And we don't have that very much. And I think the reason we don't like silence is it's all the thought processes that spin in that quiet moment. It's Hey, do you do any meditation at all?
I was just about to say, I try to do prayerful meditation, and I am horrible at it.
Right.
If you know me, you know I love God. I mean, everything I do for His glory.
Right.
I falter every day, multiple times a day.
Right.
But I always try to think, am I doing His work? Am I doing the right thing? Am I glorifying Him? And I lost my train of thought. That was a good one too.
It'll come back. I'll put in a little input here, and then it'll come back to you. I heard something that I found really interesting is a guy said, the moment you attempt to meditate, you've already messed up, because meditation isn't something you do.
Yeah.
It's something you experience.
Yes. Okay. So there, you got it for me. Okay. So I will start to pray, and I always start with gratitude.
Right.
And I'll tell you what, if you can't sleep at night, start saying gratitudes, things that you are thankful for, whether you believe in God or not. Say things that you are thankful for. You will be asleep before you can finish. And if you aren't, then keep trying.
Keep working on that.
Yes, because even if it's, I have a warm blanket.
Yeah.
Some people don't have that.
Right.
So there's always something to be grateful for. So I always start with the gratitude. And then as I'm saying gratitude, then I tend to get off topic. Because then I start thinking, oh, and thank you for the ability to move well today. Because I try to go off everything. I always start with my family,
right?
And the health of my family, and that we have a nice roof over our house or over our head, and that we have vehicles that work well, and that our kids are healthy. I mean, that's always a big one to me. And then I start, going down the road, and then I start thinking about me, which is horrible, by the way. You should always be thankful that God has given you. And I falter at that all the time.
Right.
So it's very important that you put yourself in that gratitude.
Yes.
So anyway, I get to me and I start talking about me, and then I get off kilter. Or I might start thinking, it might be on one of my kids. Thank you for my daughter's in a softball team, and it's her first year in a club softball. And even though I'm stressed to the board, because there's like 6 games this weekend, and with 4 kids, they're all like 40 minutes from our home. And it's just like, I'm still grateful that she's got this opportunity and these people to connect with. But then my brain starts to go off.
And you have that gas efficient vehicle, I think you talked about too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I wish. Working on it. Yeah. But it's one of those things that I start to get off kilter. And then before I know it, I'm starting to think about, how are we going to pay for this? Or how are we going to make that schedule work this weekend? How are we going to go to church? Because there's like 3 games on Saturday. And then Sunday games start at like 7 a.m., which is, we don't usually get up that early. But, we do during the week, but not on the weekend. So Sundays games start at like 7. And if she does well, then we keep going, and then we keep going. So we're going, okay, so when do we go to service this week? Because like you said, BNI is church for the business person.
Right.
There's still church.
Right.
And to us, church is important.
Right.
Because it's a reset for us. It's one of those, are we thinking about God? Are we pausing? Are we resting to give God that moment, that hour and a half, however long your church is?
Right.
Just giving him that moment amongst everything else and going, that is important to us. How do we make that fit in there and still give her these opportunities? And we've got 4 kids, so we've got to give equal opportunities to all 4.
And your kids are what age?
13, 11, 10, and 8. God blessed us very quickly with a bunch.
Yeah, I can relate. We had 4 kids also. Our youngest now is 22. So been there, done that. Now we're in that stage of going, hey, how are things going for you out there? So,
and praying a lot, right?
Yeah.
I think you pray differently.
I will tell you, I've actually, since you mentioned that, I'm learning to pray differently from the perspective of, I found myself talking a lot, and I'm learning to listen more.
That is so hard for me. How do you do that?
Well,
I get caught in my own head.
It takes time, because part of it is, I think what we do is we try to control our thoughts. And I heard a great analogy I really love. It's we are the sky, not the storms that pass through the sky.
Oh, which is kind of like pausing and resting while other things happen.
If you allow thoughts to just come and go, eventually what almost happens over time is you come into this natural rhythm, natural quietness. Because I think sometimes what people do, they go into prayer going, I gotta talk about this, and I gotta talk about this. And I finally hit one day, I'm going, do you really think God doesn't know what you're going to request?
Oh, yeah.
Now, I think at times, like a parent, you want your child to still express that you already know what they're going to say. And so I finally came to this place of going, you don't need my list. I want to hear your list. What is it you have to say to me? Not so much what do I have to say to you? And I even tie this into our own human existence from the perspective of, I talk a lot about an inner parent and inner child. And I think more often than not, we are just talking to ourselves as opposed to listening to ourselves. And if you can learn to listen to your thoughts and listen to your feelings and not necessarily try to control them or stop them, or it's just listening, because ultimately they just are thoughts and feelings.
Yeah.
And you start to come into this place of going, this calmness within yourself, and you go, what really is? What is it you already know? What is it and I would almost even tie it into the aspect of, what music do you hear from God?
Yeah, I like that.
It's changed me a lot, because now I don't feel this, I have to get this done. I got to get this. I got to do this. It's more just, what do you got to tell me today? What can I learn today to tie in that teacher role as well?
I do wonder, like, if there's a male-female differentiation there, because if I try to, like, at the end of the night, if I don't do gratitudes, then I start thinking about everything. And then it's harder to sleep.
Right.
And I wonder, though, if that's, like, I've always wondered, I don't know why I've never asked my husband, because he would tell me, but like, when you go to bed, do you sit there and go, oh, well, I need to do this and I need to do that, and I didn't get this? I actually have to shut that off. Like, I've had to tell myself, no, you cannot worry about this right now. Because there's always a million things to worry about.
Right.
But when I go to bed, I have to say, I cannot worry about that right now. It is not going to make a difference if I worry about it right now or wait till tomorrow. The only difference it's going to make is how much I sleep and how well I sleep. So there's no reason to worry about what has happened today until tomorrow, or what's going to happen tomorrow until you wake up.
Well, and I think that really comes into, you either go to sleep in an aspect of fear or an aspect of faith.
Yeah.
Because
absolutely,
it's learning to trust the flow. And I think, this gets into a whole lot of what I really dive into too, is I think most of us, one aspect, I think most of us live our life to not experience something. So we're really trying to control life.
Yes, 100%.
Which is where that worry and fear and all that come into play, as opposed to seeking to experience something and actually just learning to go with the flow of life, that life is a flow. And what I find interesting is, anytime control is all about fear or anxiety. And then, because you're trying to get out ahead of yourself and control the future so you don't experience something you don't want to experience. Yes. Or you're stuck in the past regretting something you did experience.
Yes. Trying to fix something that you did wrong, or think that you did wrong, or
instead
think
of just,
that you can fix, or
yeah.
What
it's funny too, because logically we know there's nothing you can do that's going to change the past.
No.
And yet we still do something within ourselves to try. Well, if I punish myself, or if it doesn't work. Instead of if we could just learn to live in the present moment, because that's really the only place you can live. There's really no fear in the present moment in and of itself, if you can truly live in that moment.
Unless maybe you're driving on Kellogg or 235 or I-35.
I understand that.
Just about anywhere in Wichita, right?
Yes. And the question is, are you trusting as you're driving along, or are we fearing? Because even because think about this, is even take that example, you're driving along, you're afraid of an accident.
Yes.
Correct?
Absolutely.
If you ask yourself this question, though, is in this moment that accident occurring?
No, definitely not.
And yet your body's reacting as if it did.
Yes.
And if you can learn to go, okay, I acknowledge what I've allowed myself to do is go, okay, I'm feeling fear. Okay, that's all right. That's not a bad thing. Because ultimately all that is your body seeking to protect you.
Yeah.
And go, okay, I acknowledge you and I thank you for that. Now I'm going to come back to this moment and ask myself this question. Is that currently occurring? If not, then why am I seeking to deal with something that's not currently occurring?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
I deal with that. Like, I was just driving just the other day, and we have I think it's onto 96 from I-35, and they've got the one lane, and I feel like it's this big with the barriers on the side.
Right.
And I've got my big old vehicle.
Yes.
And I'm like, I feel like I have an inch on each side, and my hands are glued, because I'm so worried that if I just let go a little bit, that I'm going to just, yes. And then I'm going to just hit it and then turn around, and then a huge 10, 20 pile accident. Absolutely.
Right.
And it's so hard, like in a moment like that, to go, it's okay.
Right.
I know how to drive.
Right.
I know how to drive through this. I'm driving a safe distance from the next person.
Right.
because people are stupid. Not everybody, but they make bad decisions when they're driving sometimes. And you'll have red lights right there all of a sudden. But it is so hard, Dr. Craig. You're right. It's so hard in that moment to not have 87 fears that you can have and let them go.
I like to tell people, here's why that's such a hard thing. What's interesting is it ultimately just starts as a thought. And that usually comes from your prefrontal cortex area. And your thoughts are connected to about, I think it's 2,000 neurons. And then it goes to a feeling. And your feeling limbic system is connected to like 2 billion neurons. Who do you think is going to win?
No, you're feeling.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that's where in the moment, it's difficult to stop that feeling. And that's where I think if you can learn in small things to go, okay, I acknowledge that I feel you. What was the actual thought that created that? Because if you think about that feeling, it's actually the thought of being crunched, of hitting it. Well, here's what I think. Why did the brain even think about that to begin with? Why did it not go, I'm going to make it smoothly through this. There's no issues. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I wonder, like, for that specific situation, in the last year, I have been hit twice. And one of them was on the same, well, not that stretch, but on one of those highways.
Right.
I was quite literally stopped and waiting, and somebody backed into me. I mean, just slammed right into me.
Right.
I did nothing. I wasn't worried in the moment.
Right.
I wasn't fearful in the moment.
Right.
I was stopped.
Right. So now what does your brain do? It associates a place or an experience with another thing. And what I've learned to do is go, okay, because what's interesting about the brain, the number one programming of the brain is protection. I think the number one question the brain asks and the body asks at all time is, am I safe? And so what it's ultimately seeking to do is protect you from what it perceives as danger. And the challenge is once you experience something and go, oh, this is dangerous, then the brain goes, well, this is kind of like that. So we're going to connect that. And this is kind of like that. And what's interesting is you'll have an experience that's really not connected to it at all. But through this aspect of association, now you're having a similar experience to something that really has nothing to do with the original experience. And if you can be aware of that, you can start to deconstruct this, because there's a concept called neuroplasticity, which basically means the body detaches and reattaches. It either detaches and reattaches or it doesn't reattach. And we can actually control this process by being aware of going, wow, I'm feeling this feeling because of this previous experience. I don't have to keep those connected. These are two separate things. And now I can deal with this for what it is, not what I experienced originally.
We kind of have to stop.
We have to pay attention. And I think the hardest thing for people is just awareness. And I think that's even difficult because as much as 95% of what we experience in a day is subconscious or unconscious programming. Very few of us really are consciously engaged and aware of what we do.
Absolutely. And I do. I mean, I teach all day long and half of the stuff that I do, I've done 1 million times and I don't have to think about.
Right.
I love that though, because
that's not a bad thing.
No. And it actually gives me an advantage because I'm able to not worry about that part.
Right.
And be able to really plug into each of the kids.
Right.
And go, okay, I know what I'm teaching. My brain knows exactly how to teach it. Now, how does this kid need it?
Right. Well, and what's interesting, if you think about it too, when you say, I know how to teach, you have faith in your ability.
100%.
Whereas where it goes awry is when it gets involved in fear.
Yes.
That's when it becomes problematic. So if you can be aware of going, okay, this is a unhealthy programmed response. How do I change it? How do I reprogram? Now, I'm finding the most challenging part, though, is those deepest things within us.
Yes.
Those things that drive that emotion. It's being able to, because we don't like uncomfortable feelings and we tend to try to move away from them. And so it takes a bit of time to reprogram those.
Music actually is that way for me. Performing all the time. I'm constantly thinking, I'm not as good as this person. I have been playing piano for 42 years. But I have students that can play better than I can.
Right.
And my brain goes, I'm not good enough. I've played the harp since I was 12.
Right.
But I know a dozen other harpists personally
Right.
that are better harpists than I am.
See, that goes to the very first episode I had.
Yes.
That to me is the big lie, because I'll give you a really interesting experience today. Now, this won't come out till probably
sometime
December or January. But today, September 26th, 2025, I had an experience. So one of the gals that used to work for us, her son came in with her. And her son started, we do this, kinesiology testing and energy testing. And he started testing. He was spot on. And I'm going, you're 5.
Now, what do you mean when you say spot on? Because I've been to a kinesiologist once in my life, and I'm going to come to you.
Yes. So if you've been to a kinesiologist and they do muscle testing, they're basically asking questions. Okay. You can do that without using muscle testing. Muscle testing is a way to engage the client or the patient with it so they can see that it's having an impact. But I'm going to put it to this, because I really think ultimately what we do is intuitive testing. Have you ever had an intuition, but you just knew something?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And you didn't know why you knew it?
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about. He goes, he came to me and he goes, you need this, this, and this. I mean, basically is what he was saying. I'm going, and the way we do our testing, I'm going, yeah, you're right. And I read what the things were connected to. I'm going, yeah, that fits exactly, a lot of the stuff I'm experiencing right now. And I'm going, how at 5 do you know that? That to me is a God-given gift.
Yeah.
That to me is an intuition that that hasn't been trained out of him, for lack of a better term, because I think that's the problem for most of us. As kids, we have this knowing, this thing within us that just is us, this heart thing. And over time, we learn to judge it and to critique it, and it's
compare it.
Bingo. That is the biggest problem, because I think the problem is we live life on a vertical scale, and where do I fit within, the scale?
100%.
And what I work to do is go, if we flip this on our side, on its side, and go, there's neither better or worse. There's just difference. Exactly. And they're not good or bad. They just are different. And I love the word contrast versus compare. I can look at somebody and go, I can look at that 5-year-old. And what's funny is I felt an aspect of jealousy, and I'm going,
I love it.
Yeah. And I'm going, why?
Yeah, he's 5.
Well, and not only that, but I'm like, his ability doesn't make mine any less.
Yes, 100%.
And that's the problem, is we look at somebody else and go, well, you have this and I don't, so that makes me less valuable. No, it doesn't. I have values in different areas that he couldn't even begin to touch. And he has values in areas that I couldn't begin to touch. And that's true for all of us. And if we could learn that and realize that and stop comparing ourselves to one another and just go, if I love contrast, because contrast is, what can I learn from you? What can I don't have to best you or, none of that. It's just, you have an ability or something that's different from me. What can I learn from that? How can I gain? How can I improve? How can I grow?
Yes. Do you think that a lot of that, and this is kind of a loaded question because I know how I feel about it, but do you think a lot of that almost learned helplessness comes from childhood experiences?
Absolutely. Because I'm going to tell you what I think one of the biggest childhood experiences we have that we don't even realize that we do it within ourselves is, think about this. Most of us tell our kids, be quiet. I'm busy. I don't want to hear you. And then we grow up and we do the same thing to ourselves because we have a feeling.
Yeah.
And we go, I don't have time for that. Be quiet. Leave me alone.
So true.
And so what happens, think about this. If you constantly tell a child to be quiet, one of 2 things will happen. Either he will become this coward, he will cower within and just be helpless, or he'll push out against it. And I think both of those happen within us. Sometimes we have a feeling and then we just cower to it and we just ignore it. Or eventually it gets big enough and it just says, you're not going to ignore me anymore. And I think a lot of times that's what happens. Even as we age, we come to this place. And that's, I think sometimes old people just say what they want to say because they're like, I'm not listening to you anymore. I'm just going to say what I want to say. So, but yeah, I think that's the problem is, and I think unintentionally, parents teach their kids they're not good enough because the parents felt not good enough.
Yeah.
Because their parents felt not good enough. Because we've perpetuated this story for generation upon generation that it's somehow we're not good enough. And I'm like, and in my episode, I put, that's the lie.
Yeah. I always, all my life still, I deal with, I'm not good enough. Always.
And my favorite question to that is based on what? Because if you can actually stop and ask that question, there's really not a lot of basis on it. Because even if you take somebody who can more proficiently perform on an instrument, does that really make them better than you?
Maybe at that one aspect.
Right. But not as an overall
person or an individual or a musician.
Right. Because you even know musicians that are talented. You can have one that's talented in guitar and could not play a lick on a harp to a degree.
Yeah.
Does it mean the harp's better than the guitar? No, it just means we have different abilities, which is, I think, that's what God intended.
Absolutely. It'd be boring if we were all the same.
Exactly. And I think we've learned to have this value system of, well, this is more important. I think about it a lot from especially sports and entertainment. Why have we made that so important?
That's a great question.
Think about it. We have built stadiums.
Oh, people make millions. Like athletes, there are athletes that make millions and millions of dollars.
So I'll give you my answer. Because we don't feel good enough, we're looking to somebody else to make us feel good enough.
But that also creates so much, I'm not good enough.
I know, that's the irony of it. It's like, oh, I can attach myself to my team because it's almost that popularity by association thing. The problem is some part of you knows, even if they have success, it's not my success.
Yeah.
So we pay all this money to feel a feeling, and that feeling's empty because it's not really our feeling.
It's not yours.
It's not.
Yeah.
Because it's not from you.
Yeah.
And I think we do the same thing in marriage to a degree too, as we go in thinking, you're going to make me feel something that I haven't figured out how to feel within myself. And if we would just realize that within ourselves, and I think this even ties into BNI from this perspective, because ultimately it's about giver's gain, right?
Yeah.
You're healthiest when you truly give. Not give because you're supposed to, not give because you have to, not give because if I give to you, you're going to give me something in return. But you're in this place that you're at peace within yourself, that you have this mindset. And it's funny because as I'm going into presidency, I find my mindset shifting to what can I do for you? And I think that's ultimately when we're in that place, we don't need any of that. Yeah.
I think you're going to love being president. I did it for 1 year and I did it during COVID. So that was fun. Because adults are hilarious on Zoom. Like nobody pays attention. But
especially the technologically challenged.
Oh, everybody always has a technical problem. That's why I can't see you. Yeah. Okay. All right. But I think you're going to love it because it really does. And being a teacher, which you are, obviously, you're naturally a teacher. Some of us are born to be teachers. I don't know if I believe that you can well, I do. I think that you can become a teacher, but I think that if you can become a teacher, it was somewhere inside of you already. I think there are people that were born to be able to express and share knowledge and to teach others.
So you say we have a calling?
We do. Absolutely. I think everybody has a calling. You don't know what it is necessarily. I mean, it's hard to know that. And I think some people don't know that for most of their lives.
See, I think everybody's called to be a teacher, just not in the way we think of teaching. Because I think ultimately teaching is basically going, here's what I've experienced. Here's what I've gained from that experience. Here's how it can help you. That's teaching.
That's true. Well, everybody who's way up there loves to share. The older we get, the more that we want to be like, yeah, you know what? I've already done that. Do you want some advice on it? Because I already made the mistakes.
I mean, I think that's I was talking to somebody else today about that if sometimes I think if we could actually just go, here's what I'm really struggling with. Then I think there's almost this part of everybody else that goes, well, this would help. And here's how I can help. And here's what I learned. And here's the experience I had. So I think all of us really are teachers. We just don't realize it. It's the avenue that you teach in, whether it's music, whether it's business, whether it's entertainment, even to a degree as well. So,
well, some of our entertainers are not teaching very well. Teaching some ill things instead of some good things.
I find it. My favorite question is ultimately why, Because even in that situation, I ask the question, why? If they're teaching ill, why are they teaching ill? Where is that coming from?
Unfortunately, I think it's an evil, dark place
Yeah.
that makes a lot of money and gets a lot of acknowledgement and a lot of visibility. And just like with social media, people click and watch the ones that they're like, why would you do that?
Right.
Not the ones that I could put up 80 videos of me playing the harp.
Right.
And even me as a harpist, I can scroll through when somebody's playing the harp. I'll listen for about 10, 15 seconds. Then I'll probably scroll to the next thing, right, which is somebody that's cooking something and they're doing it ridiculously. And it's so stupid that you're like, train wreck, gotta watch,
Isn't that a part of us that's drawn to that though?
Oh, absolutely.
Because we see the train wreck within ourselves.
Oh, come now.
I'm talking about it at that deep place within ourselves, that good, not good enough.
Yes.
Is a train wreck.
I love it.
Well, and let's go back to vibration and frequency. Mm-hmm. Things that vibrate together, resonate together. So I think that's why
you feel like you're a train wreck.
That's why we're drawn to it. Mm-hmm. So I think even to a degree, those that are doing ill are speaking to something that we're all struggling with.
What about the side of you want to watch those things because you're better than them?
That's part of it. That gets in there. I think it's both. I think that
I'm an okay cook.
Right. Right.
But I watch these people. I'm like, I wouldn't do that.
Right. Think about what you're saying, where that would come from. If we want to feel better than something, mm-hmm, that means inside we're feeling less than.
Yes.
Yeah, I do. I think it gets in there too. Like I said, my favorite question is why? Why do we think what we think? Why do we feel what we feel? Why do we behave how we behave? If you can actually start to see that, especially a lot of times from a non-judgmental place, there's wisdom. It's like, oh, I understand. I think some of the things that people do that even can be very heinous are ultimately coming from a very painful place within themselves. Mm. And if I can see that, because what my ultimate goal is, compassion. Because if I can see you for what you truly are, hurting, painful human beings, now I can have compassion. Doesn't mean I condone the action. Doesn't mean I think it's right. It's that you're a hurting person.
Right.
Just as I'm hurting.
Yeah. You can empathize and hopefully help.
Right. Any closing thoughts? We've gone along here. We could keep going for a long time. That's what I find in most of my podcasts is I love asking questions because it starts to open doorways and you start to go, then there's this, and then there's this, and you go off on all these spider webs and tangents. So
I do that all the time. Every time that I'm teaching,
yes,
a kid will say, the thing that I get almost every day or every lesson is, what does this start on? How does this start? And the easy answer is always, oh, it's G position, or it's C position,
right,
or your thumb is here, or
right.
I never do that. You could ask any of my students. I very rarely ever give them the answer to that.
Right.
I always break it down. I always say, okay, so what is that note? Or which hand starts? If it's one hand starting first, then I say, which hand's going to start?
Right.
Okay. What note is that? What finger is that? And if they can't figure out one of those answers, then we break it down again.
Right.
And we figure it out from there.
So you're guiding them to the answer themselves.
Yes, because questions are amazing.
Right.
What they do. Doing that with kids, with your own kids too.
I encourage parents, if I could go back and learn one thing as a parent, go back to that when the kid is crying. Instead of going, stop crying, go to your room, whatever. What are you feeling? Why are you feeling that? Actually give them a way, because I think that's the thing we don't learn as kids is how to verbalize what we're experiencing in a healthy way. And so then I think we take that in adulthood and we do that to ourselves because we haven't figured out how to do it in a healthy way. So now we either stuff it all down inside of us, which creates health issues, or we blow up, which creates relationship issues.
Well, and there's that from childhood, you're not given permission.
Yes.
To have your feelings.
I know.
So many, I grew up with children are seen and not heard.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah. There's a lot of that. I think it's interesting because I almost think today's generation of kids are starting to go, no,
Yeah.
They're rebelling, which I think comes from the generation that was told you can have it your way. And now they're going, okay, we are going to have it our way. And then we're going, wait a minute, we went too far the other way.
Yes. Well, and like my kids, like I said, my oldest is 13 and he sees a lot of these. Of course, we're a little bit older parents because I'm 47. My husband is 51.
Okay.
I hope he's 51 so that if he hears this, he's not like, I'm only 50.
Well,
I think he's 51.
Depending upon when we can make sure we release it when he's 51.
But so our oldest being 13, we all have friends who are having grandchildren or have several grandchildren.
Right.
I have one or two, I think, that have great grandchildren, which that's a little bit much in my
right.
opinion. But the point is that we started a lot older and we have always kind of talked to our kids a little bit differently because we were older.
Right.
Where it's created a different kind of childhood for them and they see the kids that are a little bit older than them. And unfortunately, a lot of them dealt with a lot of that puberty in COVID.
Right.
I think that was such a, my oldest was second grade for COVID and we homeschooled that year.
Yeah.
So yeah, we did. There were some things that had to be caught up from and whatnot, but I cannot imagine if you were a kid, especially one that went to public schools, which the majority of the kids do. Right. Homeschool is awesome. It's such an amazing thing that there is, and there's so many different options for that. Right. It's a great place in our world right now.
Right.
But the truth is that most kids are in the public schools.
Right.
And a lot of those, especially like in the Wichita public schools, come from homes that they'd rather be at school than at home.
Right.
And during puberty, to take that safety and security and structure away from them was such a big mistake, such a big harm for them.
I think in the years to come, we're going to see some fallout we had no way to anticipate. Yeah, I think it's going to be a defining moment.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's all going to be in a good way, unfortunately.
For me, a defining moment was like 9/11. That was one that changed my life.
Right.
Even though I wasn't there, I was in college and I was, I was in actually a music theory class because I was doing audio engineering and recording technologies. And somebody came in and they said they just hit one of the towers. Somebody just hit the tower. And they wheeled in a TV because that was what it was. And we saw the second one hit. To me, that was a defining moment that I'll never forget.
Right.
That was a moment.
Right.
These kids had a year of being, in essence, shut off. And their only access to people was digital. That has messed up so many things.
I know it has. It's going to be interesting to see how that all plays out.
Have you started having some of those patients?
I can see an effect in people. I mean, I think the hard part, my viewpoint is it amped up anxiety and fear.
Absolutely.
Because you basically taught kids to be afraid.
You did. About seeing their friend. About getting more than 6 feet from them.
Yeah, you all of a sudden made human interaction a danger. Yeah, especially in what I do, what I see the hardest part isn't really even the mental or emotional effect, because you can work through that. It's what I call it a spiritual or energetic or cellular effect. It's what happens at a cellular level, because at a cellular level, you can have a continued stress response and not feel any stress mentally or emotionally. That your body
that totally jacks you up too.
Yeah.
Right? Because that can cause all kinds of...
Go back to that feeling not good enough sensation we talked about. That's what I'm talking about, because you feel that at a cellular level. You feel that at a deep core level within yourself. And I think they changed the cellular function of those kids. Yeah. And they won't realize it, because you go back to school and okay, we're back into normal, not on a cellular level. They're not.
Yeah. Well, they will always have that fear that it will happen again.
Absolutely.
Because they were so young and vulnerable and their whole world shut down.
Mm-hmm.
So if that happened then as a child or an adolescent, why couldn't it happen again?
Right. So now you're not really living, you're just living to not experience something, to go back to what we talked about. So.
Well, I would think the lack of connection would be great too, because they'd be afraid to connect to people because then they wouldn't be able to be connected to them anymore.
That's right.
Why love somebody? Why get close to somebody if that might be ripped away?
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting is not the word I choose to use. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens in the future. So
yeah, it will. That was an interesting turn.
I know. Yeah.
But it was a good one. I mean,
That's
a lot of good stuff about because the brain and the body, and it's all connected.
Yeah.
And whether we're good enough or, my goodness, just, wow.
So I'm gonna tie this all back into this one concept, because I think the real question is, what are you teaching yourself? Because how we interact with ourselves, we are truly teaching ourselves, yes, you are good enough, or no, you're not good enough. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what I would leave people with is, what are you teaching to yourself? Yeah. In your thoughts, in your feelings, in your behaviors, what are you teaching each moment of each day?
Now, Dr. Craig, do you feel sometimes, or how much do you feel that? Like, I constantly think I'm not good enough. And I constantly try to tell myself, I don't need to compare myself with anybody else. I don't need to, I am the best me God has made me.
Yes.
And I try every day to be that best person.
So here's the question I would ask with that is, when you feel not good enough, where within your body do you not feel that?
Right here.
Okay. Because this tells, and here's what that tells me is there's 3 different levels. There's mental, which we typically feel in our head. There's emotional, which we typically feel in our chest. And there's what I would call that spiritual or energetic or cellular, which we tend to feel in our gut. Now, the real question is it truly from there, or is it coming from the gut up into here?
That's a great question.
Right.
And I've always had lots of stomach issues. Mm-hmm. So,
and I think that's why we have stomach issues. Most people, that's the most common area. Well, actually, the number 1 area to have problems is the heart, because heart disease is number 1. Number 2 goes to the gut. Because I think what happens is this is where we feel all the battle, because you're battling between the gut and the brain, the spirit and the head, for lack of a better term. What we think and what we believe are not always in agreement. And this is the battleground for it, which is why I think the heart takes so much damage. But then it's actually the source comes from the gut. Because if you actually think about feeling that feeling, where do you feel it the most? Yes, you feel it here, because this is what if that's true?
Yeah.
This down here is going, it is true. I just don't want it to be true.
So good.
Yeah, good stuff. All right. Well, we're going to wrap up today's. We'll have to have you come back. We'll do some more chatting. So I appreciate you being on today. You want to give a little quick shout out to your website?
Yes. So if you want to learn something, you can do it locally. Don't spend your money across the ocean. Just do it locally. And the easiest way to do that is to go to wichitaalessons.com and search for what it is that you want to learn, and we'll help you find a teacher that is local to help you learn that.
Julia, I appreciate your time. Thanks for being on.
Thank you so much.
Join me on the next episode of Mind Shift. Bye.
Thank you for joining the Mind Shift podcast today. If this resonates, Dr. Farney would love to hear from you. Leave a review, message him on social media, or visit www.docerlifecenter.com to learn more about Dr. Farney and his approach to wellness. Until next time, keep alchemizing. The content of this podcast is for educational and informational purposes only and is not intended to be a substitute for professional mental health, medical, or therapeutic advice, diagnosis, or treatment. While Dr. Craig is passionate about emotional healing and personal growth, he is not acting as your personal therapist, counselor, or healthcare provider in this format. If you're experiencing significant emotional distress, mental health challenges, or physical ailments, he strongly encourages you to seek support from a licensed professional in your area. By listening, you agree to take full responsibility for your own well-being, decisions, and actions. You're the expert of your experience. This podcast is simply here to help support and inspire your healing journey.